Hey guys, it's Jenna Pecor again with Bancroft Realty, serving North Texans for all their North Texas real estate needs. And today we're talking at part 3 of our video series on the seller's estimated net proceeds form. And this is going to be something that we're going to talk about today when it comes to the buyer's anticipated financing and why that matters as far as how that's going to affect your bottom line. So when it comes to getting an offer, the buyer will indicate exactly what type of financing they're going to be using to purchase the home. And in most cases, it's going to be one of 3 things: the conventional loan, the Veterans Assistant loan or the VA loan, and then the FHA loan, which is the Federal Housing Authority. They have a loan that is usually for first-time home buyers, but not always. So the 3 of these are going to be your most standard. Obviously, there's other options as well, but in this particular scenario, we're going to talk a little bit about the FHA loan versus the conventional loan and how that affects your bottom line. So when it comes to different types of financing, there are different variables that can come from accepting different types of financing. The conventional loan, and I've talked about this, there's another video where I've talked about each of these financing types and how that affects what type of house you can purchase. So when it comes to actually being a seller and actually accepting an offer based on the financing, it's going to matter that the condition of the home that you're selling is going to make a difference, because depending on what type of loan that you receive and depending on the condition of the house, there could be potential lender required repairs that the lender actually requires after the appraisal comes out. The appraiser comes out and actually does the appraisal, where they actually say, in order for this funding to go through, we're going to require that you fix this thing, this thing, this thing, whatever the items might be. So when I go through and put out the entire contract and we kind of discuss all that, we do discuss what are the potential variables that could come with the cost involved with selling your house based on the financing that we've received. In this particular scenario, I've checked that we got an FHA offer. So because I personally have been over to the house, I'm a real estate agent that has physically been inside your house. I'm not a Zillow that's just used an algorithm to decide the condition of the home and the price point. I've actually been in. I know that there's a few things that are inside of this house because I personally, as the real estate agent, know what an FHA appraisal actually looks like and what an appraiser is actually going to ensure is the case with the condition of the home. That when we got that offer, I was able to say, listen, and we probably already discussed this in the listing agreement or the listing appointment in the first place, but what I say is, I know that there is a chance that they might have you, for example, replace the stairway railing in your hall because you don't have one. I know that the FHA is probably going to require that you put one up. Secondly, I know that there's a lot of, for example, there's a lot of, one of the common things is there's a lot of wood rot because your house, the garage faces east, and it gets a lot of sun in the morning, which beats down on that paint, which beats down on that wood. And I know that there's a lot of the framing of that particular garage that is broken down, the wood is broken down. And what they want to make sure of is that the house is not in any type of condition that would cause the house to not be safe. And sometimes when you have peeling paint, when you have wood rot, you can have termites, you can have, there's a potential for fire because peeling paint is generally a fire hazard. So I know that they're going to require that you fix all of that wood trim around your garage, and depending on the severity of the wood rot, that's how much it's going to cost to fix. So I've already anticipated that those are 2 potential things that the appraiser might request. It doesn't necessarily mean that they will, but they could. So when I go to actually put this offer into a form like a seller's estimated net proceeds, I include the estimated cost of fixing the 2 items that I personally know as a real estate agent that they could potentially cost my seller. So I've gone ahead and said it probably is going to cost you about $1,500 to get those replaced. So again, this is going to matter because if they did take a conventional loan where the lender is not going to require the repairs, that $1,500 is not going to be there. And that's going to add more to their net proceeds. But This needs to be a part of how we determine what kind of offer to accept. Okay, so that is something that when we go to discuss it, these are surprises that are not going to be surprises later on because we've discussed all of these things ahead of time. So that is just one of the areas when it comes to financing, how this particular sheet helps so much for the sellers and how we can determine what kind of offer is going to be the best for them. So if you have any questions about this or any of the other videos that I've put out, please contact me at the information below and join me in part 4. We're going to talk more about this sheet and how it can help you as me as a realtor, help you add more money to your bottom line when it comes to selling your house. See you next time.